The next section we'll be going over here within the program would be the actual creating of an estimate. Within the estimating software, you have the ability to create an estimate, which could then be converted over into a job ticket using the Pro version of our software. To create an estimate, we have a button here listed as a blue calculator. You click onto this, this will pull up the Choose Estimate type window. Within the estimate window, we have 6 different types of options that we can use for creating an estimate. We have a flat sheet, which could do anything from a business card, letterhead, envelope, as well as a brochure. Next, we'd have pre-collated, which would do pre-collated carbonless estimates. We also have a booklet, which does exactly what it says, estimates for booklets. We also have 2 different types of price lists. And then we also have a multiple part, which can take multiple types of jobs and put them on top of one estimate, rather than having multiple estimates. The first one we would go through would be the flat sheet estimate. By selecting the flat sheet estimate, it'll pull up our flat sheet estimate window. The first window it'll pull us to is the window for customers. We have a few different areas here. To get familiar, we have our toolbar at the top, an area where we can add a description for our estimate. To the left, we have the navigational area, which any of these options controls the window just to the right of that. For example, we're on the customer section, and on this right-hand side of the window, we have an area here where we can select our company. By selecting the company button, it'll actually reflect the same information that is found up here within the Rolodex area. By selecting the company button, it'll show us all of our different customers we have available. By clicking onto a customer, it'll populate the fields here within the customer section. And from here, we could then move over into the next section, which would be the estimate specs over here into the navigational area. By selecting the estimate specs section, we get an area over here to the right where we can actually start to build our estimate. We have drop-down menus here for quantities that can also be customized. If you'd like to find out how to customize the quantity drop-down, please see the options video for more details. You can also even type the information in if you'd rather not use the drop-downs. That same information would apply to the finish size and finish size plus bleed. We have drop-down menus that'd be able to tell you all the information for the different finish sizes. These can all be added or removed from the program in the options section. By selecting a size, we could then move down to the next section, which would be the ink specification. The ink specification area gives us the different types of inks that we have available for ink groups. For example, on the left side here, we have options for 1/0 black, 1/0 digital black, 1/0 digital full color, and so forth. We've kept the names pretty generic for you, that way you can find your inks a little bit easier. However, you can go through and actually name your actual inks. If you were to, say, for example, select 1/0 for a standard color, over here on the right hand side it shows us here that we've got our 1 ink on the front, which is a standard color, and 0 ink on the back. If we would like to change the actual ink name here so that it'll reflect the actual ink, you can highlight that, select Edit Description, and then type the actual ink name into this field. Once you've got your ink selected, you can hit the OK button to add to your estimate. The next section down would be the stock paper area. By selecting this button, it'll actually open up our stock filter. This filter has information for sizes, names, weights, colors, and attributes. All of this information is controlled within the stock settings in the stock section of the green wrench. Basically, what the stock filter is here for is to help you locate stocks faster. By highlighting a size, I can select OK, and it'll pull me up to my Find Stock window, which will show me every single 8.5 by 11 stock I have within the program. This also works for you to locate names for weights, sizes, colors, and attributes. If you're looking for a specific name, size, weight, color, or attribute, you could select that from the filter list previously, and it'll populate this list with all the options that you had selected. In this case, I'm just going to select a normal bond here, hit the OK button to add it to my estimate, and being it is that I have an 8.5 by 11 finish size and I'm running an 8.5 by 11 sheet, it's going to show me here that I've only got 1 out. Below here we have our difficulty factors. The difficulty factors shows us what type of markup we have on the job. For more information on the difficulty factors, please see the options video. The good difficulty factor is a 0% markup, so this is a straight across the board estimate. The next section below that would be the running selections. The running selection shows you here how many options you have available by putting in the specs here within the job and all the machines that you have available within the press section of the green wrench. It shows us that it's got 3 different options that it can run. By selecting the running selections, it opens up a screen for us here to show exactly which machines I have available to run this job. If you notice, there is, with this machine, options here that are bold and asterisized. What the program does is it takes it a step further. Besides showing you the presses that it has available, it also shows you the most cost-effective way to run the job. So by this one-up machine here, it's showing us that for 600, 1,000, or 5,000, this is going to be the most cost-effective way to run this job would be on this machine. So by selecting the lock button to lock my presses in, I can hit OK, and this will lock my prices into the program. From here, if I would like to add anything like graphics, I can do so by highlighting the graphics section in the navigational area, and then from here choosing the option I'd like to use out of this list, and then highlighting it and selecting add to add it into the next list to the left. Same would apply for the finish proofs. Same with the finishing, as well as the additional operations. The variations section is an option here listed for you to create a type of discount or markup on specific sections within the job. Say if you wanted to go through here and not charge full on the plates, you could highlight the plates and double click onto that where it'll show you your actual cost of your plates here. If you'd like to add a markup or an adjustment to it, what you could do is put in, say for example, a minus 10%. By using the arrow button, it'll pull that 10% across every other quantity I have here, and it'll show me my markdown that I have right here. It'll show me my original price, which is $14.70, with a 10% discount would actually make this $13.23. If this is something I'd like to do, I could keep that here and select OK. Or if I wanted to remove it, I could put it back to 0, hit the arrow button, and it puts it back to my original price. You can do an adjustment here via percentage, or if you'd like to do it via dollar adjustment, you can select the dollar adjustment as well, where it'll change the symbol here to be at $1. Once I've finished here, I can select the OK button. We also have an area here for notes. The notes section here is for you to put any type of notes that you'd like to have, whether it be for an internal note or for information that you'd like to have your customer to see. Once you select the note type that you'd like to use, you can put your cursor in here and type the note, and it'll print out on either the customer printout or the actual internal printout. We also have a price summary section here, which gives you a brief overview of the actual job. If you're looking for a more detailed specific option, we have this button up the top here that looks like a $sign. This is the preview price detail. By selecting this button, it'll actually open up a price detail. This price detail shows us exactly all the information that's coming with this job. Breaks it down into specific areas here for you, that way you can see exactly where all your costs are coming from. Once we finish with the estimate, we have an option up here that looks like a floppy disk to save. Once I click onto the save button, it'll actually populate the estimate number with a new estimate number down here. From here, I can click the close button to close out of the estimate, or if I'd like to change this into a job ticket, as you see at the top, it's listed here as a flat sheet estimate. From here, if I'd like to create it into a job ticket, what I can do is select the job ticket estimate toggle button here that's represented by a yellow piece of paper and a blue piece of paper. By clicking onto this, it now lists this here as a flat sheet job ticket. So we have just converted this into a job ticket, and also opens a new area here in the navigational section. We now have options here for a start date, a due date. If you'd like to include a finish date, you can do so as well. Out of the 3 quantities that we'd placed in here for the job, we have a drop down that we can select which quantity we would like to use, as well as we also have an area here to add a ship date. There's an area here for order source to find exactly how the job came in, how the job's going to be shipped, as well as if you'd like to include an invoice item, you can do so as well. There's also an area here for a PO number and invoice number as well. Once we click onto the Save button, it'll do the same thing that happened with the estimate, and it'll give it a job number down here at the bottom. This will save this job ticket into your job ticket manager. Once you're finished with this, you can select the Close button, and it will close out of the estimate and job ticket and save both in Estimate Manager as well as the job ticket manager.